powerful life quotes when learning how to legally protect yourself. Our founding fathers and others have shown us how legal tyranny could easily fall upon us. These quotes should shed light on the mindset we must have to free ourselves from tyranny we have self-imposed today. What follows are a series of excerpts from others which could be useful in understanding some of the philosophy we must all learn from in order to move forward. Is life so dear or peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty, or give me death. Patrick Henry. Respect for the truth comes close to being the basis for all morality. Frank Herbert. If a country forgets where it came from, how will its people know who they are? Pat Buchanan. I really did try to write the website, so that an educated public that cares about issues like this, do not have to be a lawyer, and can read it and understand it. There is no subject so old that something new cannot be said about it. Who questions much, shall learn much, and retain much. Francis Bacon. Read not to contradict and confute, nor to believe and take for granted, but to weigh and consider. Francis Bacon. Who questions much, shall learn much, and retain much. A sudden, bold and unexpected question doth many times surprise a man and lay him open. Francis Bacon. Holy wisdom confounds Satan, and all his wickedness. St. Francis of Assisi. Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. Henry IV. Greater than the tread of mighty armies, is an idea whose time has come. Victor Hugo. Great things are done by a series of small things brought together. If we all worked on the assumption that what is accepted as true is really true, there would be little hope of advance. Orville Wright. I don't think there is another person in America that wants to tell this story as much as I do. Oliver North. Those that know, do. Those that understand, teach. Aristotle. There is a true law, a right reason, conformable to nature, universal, unchangeable, eternal, whose commands urge us to duty, and whose prohibitions restrain us from evil. Whether it enjoins or forbids, the good respect its injunctions, and the wicked treat them with indifference. This law cannot be contradicted by any other law, and is not liable either to derogation or abrogation. Neither the Senate nor the people can give us any dispensation for not obeying this universal law of justice. It is the sovereign master and emperor of all beings. God himself is its author, its promulgator, its enforcer. Marcus Tullius Cicero. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. Benjamin Franklin. They who would give up essential liberty, to purchase a little temporary safety, deserve neither liberty nor safety. Power tends to corrupt and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Lord Acton. Edward Mandell had this to say in a private meeting with President Woodrow Wilson. Soon, every American will be required to register their biological property in a national system designed to keep track of the people and that will operate under the ancient system of pledging. By such methodology, we can compel people to submit to our agenda, which will affect our security as a chargeback for our fiat paper currency. Every American will be forced to register, or suffer being unable to work and earn a living. They will be our chattel, and we will hold the security interest over them forever, by operation of the law merchant, under the scheme of secured transactions. Americans, by unknowingly or unwittingly delivering the bills of lading to us, will be rendered bankrupt and insolvent, forever to remain economic slaves through taxation, secured by their pledges. They will be stripped of their rights and given a commercial value, designed to make us bankers a profit, while they will be none the wiser. For not one man in a million could ever figure our plans, and if by accident, one or two figure it out, we have in our arsenal plausible deniability. After all, this is the only logical way to fund government, by floating liens and debt to the registrants, in the form of benefits and privileges. This will inevitably reap to us huge profits beyond our wildest expectations, and leave every American a contributor to this fraud, which we will call social insurance. Without realizing it, every American will insure us for any loss we may incur, and in this manner, every American will unknowingly be our servant, however begrudgingly. The people will become helpless and without any hope for their redemption, and we will employ the high office of the president, of our dummy corporation, to foment this plot against America. If you think of yourselves as helpless and ineffectual, it is certain that you will create a despotic government to be your master. The wise despot, therefore, maintains among his subjects a popular sense that they are helpless and ineffectual. Frank Herbert. People shouldn't be afraid of their governments, but the governments should be afraid of their people. From the film, V for Vendetta. No one should be allowed to violently trample on the law. Evil requires the sanction of the victim. As stated by a previous commissioner for the IRS, we're confiscating property now, and that is socialism. It is clearly written into the Communist Manifesto. Maybe we ought to see that every person who gets a tax return receives a copy of the Communist Manifesto with it, so he can see what's happening to him. All violence consists in some people forcing others, under threat of suffering or death, to do what they do not want to do. Leo Tolstoy. It only stands to reason that, where there's sacrifice, there is someone collecting the sacrificial offerings. Where there's service, there is someone being served. The man who speaks to you of sacrifice, is speaking of slaves and masters, and he intends to be the master. Ayn Rand. We must not only cease our present desire for the growth of the state, but we must desire its decrease, its weakening. Leo Tolstoy. Don't find fault, find a remedy. Henry Ford. They that will not apply new remedies, must expect new evils. Francis Bacon. How many people do you know who instinctively follow attorneys and CPAs, to handle legal processes that they are faced with without delving into what law really is, and thus lack their own participation in the process? Then they wonder why they lose 98% of the time. Our goal at yourlaw.org is to help you understand the law and how to use it for the benefit of you, your friends, and your family, at less expense and with better results than relying on the corrupted for-profit legal industry. How many people that you know understand what a right is, let alone can demand a right in a lawful manner? Most choose to follow the yellow brick road into disaster. They just choose to believe what their parents, friends, accountants, lawyers, and media tell you to believe. Think for yourselves and learn instead. A mere belief is not the same as truth or fact, not even close. It's gotten to the point that thinking for yourself is looked down upon in our now collectivist-based socialist system. Contradictions do not exist. Whenever you think you are facing a contradiction, check your premises. You will find that one of them is wrong. Ayn Rand. Thank you from www.yourlaw.org. Get your membership details today.